Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Here I'm with Toto HaBa, who is the SVP of Global and Marketing and Communications with Benefit Cosmetics. Toto is right now calling in from San Francisco. Thanks for being with me here today, Toto.
Hi, excited to be here.
So today we're going to talk about gaming and beauty, which is two, I guess, topics that I would have never really thought had any connections at all. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this area. But before we get into that, Toto, it would be great to just hear a little bit about your background and your role at Benefit.
Yeah. So my background, I have a long background both in the startup world and also the kind of advertising agency world. I joined Benefit probably about 7 years ago, on this team, and my current responsibilities are really to oversee all global marketing communications for the company. So Benefit is a company that is sold in over 50 countries. We have about 5,000 doors worldwide, so it's a pretty big organization. And what my team is responsible for is kind of three big main areas. The first is a lot of kind of digital marketing and digital marketing strategy. So we have over 120 social profiles worldwide. We have a very distributed strategy where we don't just have one central Instagram account. We have every country has their own Instagram account. And the reason that we do this, Jared, is our tagline is laughter is the best cosmetic, right? To bring the brand to life in every country, I need people in that country who can be funny. Like we don't know how to be funny in Brazil. We don't know how to be funny in China here in San Francisco. So we need these native speakers to kind of really bring the brand to life. So we're managing, a lot of social profiles worldwide. And then our team also manages all of the digital asset production that happens for the company. So all the makeup tutorials, all the beauty photography that you see online comes from this team. So we have like a mini agency built within Benefit here in San Francisco. And then we manage the global website infrastructure as well. So all our e-commerce is managed from this team. And I manage PR in addition to that too.
Right. Wow, that's incredible. That is to think that there's that many accounts that your team has to manage around the world is quite remarkable in and of itself. That must be
Yeah.
an incredible undertaking and a interesting way to develop a strategy around social media communications over internationally.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
that been complicated trying to make sure that
It's,
everybody's on
it's
brand and they're using the right tone and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, definitely. We're lucky in that our brand is so unique, within the marketplace, I'd say, in that it's a brand not rooted in makeup artistry. It was actually founded by these two women called Jean and Jane Ford. They were models, actually. So everything that they did and developed was with the regular customer in mind. So it came off as very much a brand that, speaks plainly, but is fun and lighthearted and just doesn't take makeup seriously. So I feel like the people who join the company have that kind of mindset themselves. So teaching them that hasn't been hard. What has been difficult is definitely, our advertising infrastructure and strategy to support all of that. Individual accounts, advertising at different moments, and really setting the right objectives when we move on to new platforms like TikTok or like Twitch or these other places. So that has been a challenge teaching everyone about those things as we kind of progress.
Yeah. And I guess there's probably going to be more innovation around social media in the future so that you guys are going to have to adapt and keep up with,
Oh
which
yeah.
will
I mean
keep you employed at least.
yeah, that's why we love our jobs, right? It's always changing. It's always something new.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So Toto, who is your target market?
our target customer is the is younger. It's women between basically Gen Z, 16 and 24 is kind of our sweet spot. It's women who are looking to kind of graduate up their makeup routine from kind of mass products that you would normally buy in like a drugstore to
Hmm.
products you would buy in Sephora now. So our price
Yeah.
point as a company is what we consider prestige cosmetics. So a mascara for us costs about, $24 USD, right? And a mass, like a Maybelline mascara only costs about $8 USD.
Right.
So there's definitely a price differential there. So we're targeting kind of someone just entering their workforce, looking to upgrade kind of their makeup routine.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So we're going to talk today a little bit about gaming and beauty, or gaming and cosmetics. So why don't you just explain this concept just from a basic level? What do these two industries have in common? How are they linked?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of links to them that people don't realize. And I'll be honest with you, Jared, this is a newer initiative for Benefit and a newer initiative for beauty in general. So this is definitely kind of leading edge in terms of marketing. But I'll tell you some of the facts that drove us to look at this opportunity, right? So I think one of them is always where we're looking at where is our consumer spending their time, right?
Mm.
And what we have been seeing in the past several years is that actually social media usage is starting to plateau in a lot of the major markets.
Yep.
Time spent in social is peaking at around 2.5 hours a day in the U.S. for our target demo, but you see their time spent in gaming is increasing above that. It continues to grow. So gaming, time spent in gaming is probably close to 3 hours now overall, of time spent for our target market. So that was the first thing. And then we dug deeper and we're like, all right, if they're spending their time here, is it actually women, right? Is this all boys? What are they doing in here? And so we did an analysis with our YouTube partner, and we looked at on YouTube, how many women are watching beauty videos versus watching gaming videos?
Yep.
And in the beauty audience, it's about 75% of people who watch beauty videos are women, and that ends up being right around 174 million people, 174 million women. And then when you look at gaming, probably only about 30% of the audience are women that are watching
Right.
gaming videos. But the gaming universe is so much bigger, Jared, that there's probably
Mm.
about 230 million women watching gaming videos.
Wow.
And these are like streamers, right? And so that was a big light bulb for us. It's like, all right, we have this huge audience here, right? Is this the right space for beauty? So then when we talk about it further, we met with Twitch. So Twitch is, based here in San Francisco too. So lucky for us, we can go down and chat with them. Their fastest growing category is this category called just chatting, which is, people just hanging out, talking about their lives. Gaming is still really huge in there, but that's their fastest growing one. And then we looked at the demographics of people who are streaming today. And what we found is something really interesting, that there's a lot of female streamers, and these streamers are actually a very small percentage of the total, right? They probably only comprise about 20% of streamers right now. And they're actually really underrepresented, and it's a very difficult environment for them because they're getting bullied. They were getting bullied by boys on one side, being, you're a girl, you don't know about gaming, get off this platform, and they're bullied on girls on the other side by saying you're a dork, you're into, this is such a geeky thing, but they're doing it anyways because they love it, and when I saw that, we were like, oh my God, this is the perfect place for our brand because we have always stood by underrepresented women and female
Right.
empowerment, right? So we have always tried to champion women in different situations to get, their fair share, their equality, in their given professions. So we saw these streamers and they're like, oh my gosh, we can align ourselves with these streamers because they're the underdogs. They're the classic underdogs right now. And
Wow.
before you go and stream, you have to do a makeup routine, right? That's just standard, right? So we're like, all right, there's this opportunity. It fits with our brand. Let's try to go for it.
Yeah. So when we talk about these, so I guess we could maybe call these girls influencers
Yeah, sure.
in some regard. And so, are you working with them to provide product to them, and then they talk about the product while they're actually gaming, or how are they connecting the brand to their gaming life?
Yeah, so we've done a series of things. We are definitely sending product to these streamers so that they can use that before their stream. So sometimes there'll be a segment. called, Get Ready With Me. That happens before their stream, where they're just basically putting on their makeup. So we're often featured in those. We have this little kit we call, our whole program is called Game Face, Get Your Game Face On. And so we have this a package that we send them. In addition to that, we've done a couple other really interesting things. We've done things where we've found big time streamers and pair them up with big time beauty influencers and basically tried to cross pollinate the audience. So they would talk about, the streamer would talk about how do I deal with bullies online, and then the beauty influencer would talk about how they deal with bullies online themselves. And they would, the beauty influencer would teach the streamer, some beauty tips, and then the gamer would teach the beauty influencer some gaming tips, because everyone games these days. About 45% of people who play games are women. So even though they're beauty influencers, they all play games too. So they just hang out and they play with each other. So I think that was a really great collaboration. But then we've also done things as far as sponsoring tournaments. So in Australia, we sponsored an esports tournament for Fortnite, where it was female only. We had a cash prize, and it was sponsored by Benefit. So we had our logo and merch, in all the streams, and it was really successful. We got double the amount of women that we wanted to that we could actually accommodate within the tournament, and we were really happy, with the success of it. So we're just kind of building and building on that, and then later this year we're gonna be launching our own Twitch channel. So.
Oh wow. So when you launch your own Twitch channel, what does that actually look like from the consumer's perspective?
So we're still figuring it out, but it's going to be a combination of, scheduled programming where we'll invite streamers onto our channel to
Mm.
play and also do their makeup. We'll provide some makeup tutorials in terms of, how to do makeup to enhance your features in kind of a lower light environment. So it's a different kind of rig people use
Oh,
for
yeah.
gaming, and where it's, dark background, neon lights in the back, rather than in beauty videos, which is like ring light right in your face, right? So it's like, so different, different makeup tips for those different environments is one of our ideas. But there'll be a variety of things that'll be on that Twitch channel.
Have you guys ever explored using your product or maybe in a sponsorship environment, actually beautifying the avatar that they may be using in the game?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, because that is getting more and more prevalent. Actually, MAC Cosmetics has sponsored looks in Second Life, where
Mhm.
oh, I'm sorry, Sims. In the Sims, where you go in the Sims and you create your avatar, you can get like a MAC cosmetic lip, and these sort of things. And we are definitely investigating, customizing avatars. We did a lot of stuff during the pandemic around certain titles, where we had, I'm blanking on the name, where we had some partnerships with Chess Dance. We had some partnerships with, what's that game where you're on your Nintendo Switch, or you're building the islands? Oh God, I'm blanking on the name right now.
You were
Um,
asking the wrong guy.
I'll look it up and I'll find it. I can't believe I'm forgetting about it, because we did so much work on it. But we've done merch in game, but we're looking at makeup looks as well. That's an interesting place.
And so, is that the type of environment where you would then maybe sponsor the game? You would be paying the game a fee to be like the
Yeah, yeah.
makeup line of that game, and then I guess you're depending on people seeing your brand name and engaging with it. Oh, I like the way my avatar looks. Hopefully, I'm going to buy some Benefit cosmetics.
Yeah, it's really around brand awareness, at this point. It's not a lot of lower funnel marketing that this is
Yeah.
focused on. And one of the reasons we are excited to move into this space is because the regular beauty channels that companies advertise in, YouTube, Instagram, even TikTok these days, are getting so saturated, right? There's so much competition in there, and
Yeah.
as a marketer, we're always looking for new opportunities, because we're at a pretty large scale as a company as well, right? So we're like the number one prestige brand in the US, we're the number one in the UK, we're number one in a lot of places. So to actually grow our market share, we need to actually find new grow the category, right? To some extent. So places like gaming, places um, that other beauty brands aren't looking at are interesting for us.
So you talk about expanding into gaming because there's a lot of women in gaming. What about selling makeup to men? And is that
Yeah.
an opportunity to sell makeup to men within gaming?
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely an area we're looking at as well because even though a lot of guys won't admit it, they use some makeup before they go on camera and they stream. They'll either put on some concealer, or something, or they definitely have some skincare, that they use at moments as well, or primer. We have one of the top selling primers on the market, and a lot of male streamers really love using that as well. So there definitely is an opportunity there for men. Um, Interestingly enough, gaming is such a huge industry in Asia, and that's where we've really kind of started to target men in both China and Korea.
Mm,
Within the gaming space, because the attitudes towards using makeup there are much more open, I would say, than out west still,
oh,
right now,
interesting.
and that's proven to be pretty successful. So within our send list,
Yeah,
of influencers we send to, there's a bunch of men on there.
right. Okay, that's great. And Toto, how has the pandemic impacted this move to gaming? Was that pre-pandemic? Was this part of it? Is this created more opportunity in that area?
Oh yeah, so I mean, we started this strategy a while ago, and it was pre-pandemic, and we saw all these great figures. The pandemic has just supercharged it. I mean, you look
Oh, wow.
at Twitch's latest numbers, Jared, they are insane. So, in the quarters preceding pandemic, they would average probably about 2.5 billion hours watched on Twitch, a quarter.
Yeah.
Second quarter of the pandemic, that doubled to like 5.2 billion hours watched on Twitch. Right now in Q1, I think it's sitting at 6.1 billion hours. So almost tripled the amount of time people are on Twitch right now
That's
because of
crazy.
the pandemic. It's pretty wild.
That is remarkable. Okay, so just not only is the number of users increasing, not only is the female audience growing, but the amount of time they're spending on the
Yes.
platforms is
Yeah.
outrageous. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. That's super interesting. Toto, I want to switch gears just to kind of wrap up this conversation with one other question. I've interviewed one of your colleagues, and she mentioned to me that you said that you say something quite regularly. And now I don't have the quote exactly, but it kind of refers to succeeding 30% of the time.
Yeah. So I'll talk about this, and I would definitely put gaming into this category. One of the global objectives that we set worldwide for the company, in addition to like the digital metrics around increasing our reach and a bunch of other things, I have four objectives, and one of them is around innovation. And the metric we hold ourselves to is 25% success, 75% failures. Like that's
Okay.
where we want to hit as a brand. So, and it's really trying to encourage this culture of making sure people are taking enough risks in their jobs so that they're failing, three-quarters of the time. If you're not failing that much, you aren't reaching high enough, or you aren't trying to be disruptive enough as a marketer. So, we regularly talk about the failures that we have within the company. I love talking about our failures. I think we learn so much from them. But that's the bench
Hmm.
that we try to set, both for ourselves and for our markets as well.
And is this a marketing division, marketing department kind of objective, or is this something broader within the company?
Ah, so this one is specific to Marcom. I would definitely say, we have a new CEO. She just started about a year and a half ago. Her name's Christy Fleischer. Innovation is big on her priority as well. She hasn't gone as far as I have by saying you need to fail three-quarters of the time, but I know innovation is something that she's pushing very much
Yeah.
throughout the company. But this is really within the marketing group. So there is, probably around 50 people on my team, and then worldwide, we have probably over 100 marketers, in region working on benefit as well. So for all of
Wow.
them, yeah, this is our goal.
That's so inspiring and must relieve a lot of pressure from your staff as well to just kind of let loose and be like, let's really go out on a limb here and try this new thing out, which is amazing. And obviously, as you said, it's highly connected to gaming because I wouldn't have thought a cosmetic brand could enter into the gaming community and have
Yeah.
instant success. You have to be able and willing to fail if you're going to take a risk like that. And I think that your leadership has obviously provided a lot of success for your staff by just saying, "Hey, let's give it a go and let's be successful 25% of the time."
Yeah, I mean, it's if you want to be a digital leader, in this space, it's a great thing for all your students to know. Is a lot of the times you don't have all the data you would like before you need to make a leap and make a decision, and you
Yeah.
just got to try it and kind of move fast. I mean, I think it's a advantage we have as a brand, being born on the West Coast, being born in the kind of the hotbed of Silicon Valley. Fail fast is kind of where
Right.
everyone's headed as well. So
Yeah.
that's why we try to stick to it.
I love it. That's so great, Toto. I really appreciate you spending time with us and chatting here today. I've learned a whole lot of really interesting things about two areas of life I don't really know much about, and I'm sure many of the students here will be fascinated to learn about how we can kind of unite the two industries of gaming and beauty. Thanks so much for being with me
Yeah,
here
yeah,
today.
yeah. Just pay attention to where your customers are spending their time as a marketer, and you'll often find some opportunities there.
That's great. Thanks so much, Toto.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Garrett. Bye.